And good evening, everybody, and welcome to a DSM Media exclusive here. Broad Street Bulls, normally at 9 p.m. here on DSM Media. They will be live shortly, so hang in there. Hang in. They'll be there. Jeremy, George will be here shortly, bringing you all their Philadelphia sports talk that they always do every Monday and Friday night. I'm Phil Stiefel here from Trending in the AM, from Trending for Four Quarters, from Fairway to Heaven, from all the shows you know. So make sure you share this out, smash that like button, subscribe button, retweet button. You know the drill. We've got a special exclusive here tonight. I'm going to bring in some special guests here. We've got Buddy Walters. We've got Sam Gordon, and it seems like we've got Hope Louise as well. So we got some special guests here. You guys know Buddy Walters. He comes from one of the most famous Philadelphia sports families. There are the Buddy Ryan family, but I know him as the CEO, founder, Pro Level Sports Agency, one of the best up-and-coming sports agencies there are out there. I've got my friend Sam Gordon here. I just met him about 10 minutes ago. Super great guy right here. He's the founder of G2 Sports Management. And we got Hope Louise Wright as Senior VP of Business Operations at Pro Level Sports Agency. Guys and gals, welcome to DSM Media. Welcome to a DSM Media exclusive here.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you for inviting us. Thanks.
Oh, glad to have you guys.
Let me start off by saying Hope is the most important one of the trio.
Yes.
Full disclosure. I think Buddy would agree with me, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Buddy was the first one in the background when we first went before we went live, and he told me none of this what we're about to talk about would have happened without you. So Hope, this is your moment to ask for a raise right now, live on the air, because everybody's pumping you up. This is your moment to make a little extra money.
You know, basically my job there at with Pro Level Sports Agency is just sort of kind of be the liaison between management and the players, making sure that everybody understands what's going on when it comes time for partnerships, understanding the legalities of what's going on here. Both parties are putting it on the table what they're expecting from the other person, making sure that everybody understands completely what's going on so we can make this very beneficial for everyone involved. We want to make sure that everybody is completely on board with the vision and the mission of both entities, so it can be a perfect marriage, if you will. That's what's going on here.
This is the first time we've talked. I love it. So Buddy is the founder of Pro Level Sports Agency. Sam, founder of G2 Sports Management. I know they're super busy getting ready for the USFL Draft coming up in a couple of weeks. I think it's February 22nd. But they've got a special announcement. That's why this is an exclusive here. I'm going to throw it to Buddy here. Buddy, would you like to take over the platform here right now?
Yeah, sure. So again, I can't say enough about Hope, and really what we're going to announce here. She had a huge hand in getting this all finalized. So Sam and myself, chatted a couple times over the last year, I guess, and knowing Sam's background, knowing what Sam has done for his clients and the type of operation company that he runs, it really is a breath of fresh air when you're talking about what we do. We've had some, intense conversations here over the last, week or so. And really what it comes down to is Pro Level has strengths where maybe G2 doesn't. While G2 has strengths where pro level doesn't. So when you're looking at the broad picture of things, it really makes sense to, you know, put those strengths together as one and really, you know, work together. Not that we ever competed against anybody. I personally don't compete against any other companies out there. I know Sam doesn't. You know, we allow our work to, you know, to speak for itself. But, you know, putting our strengths together and to better serve not only pro level sports agency clients, but G2 sports management clients. So, you know, there's not going to be a name change. There's not going to be a logo change. You know, this is going to be a very intense partnership that, you know, really needs to happen. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to be assisting Sam and his pro level clients with getting, you know, placement, not just, you know, here in the States, but also where we've really been taken off and overseas, where, you know, Sam is going to step in, help pro level clients in areas where we lack, and, you know, help our guys get, you know, better opportunities. So does that sound about right, Sam?
Absolutely. And through painstaking hours of you know, trying to get contact info from IFL teams and NAL teams, I'm honored to really, you know, bring you know, I'm just as excited about the European resources, but I'm honored to bring my resources to the table and help as many players as possible. Because in the end, Buddy, Hope, Vince, everybody, you know, everybody on the G2 and pro level teams, we all believe in helping as many players as possible and helping players achieve those dreams of playing professionally, no matter what level it may be. Um, obviously, you know, there was things that I wanted to do better, and obviously you can't do it alone. That's just one thing. That's just one thing that's most cut and dry, is you can't do it alone in this business or any business, and it's never a bad thing to ask for help. And I'm honored to be a part of this group, and I'm honored to be in this family environment and to bring my players to this family environment, and to also use the talent and the resources that I have to help players in another spectrum as well. And, you know, the amount of things that Buddy has in store, that said, Sam, you got to come on board. You got to be involved with this. You got to be, you know, because, you know, double the clients, double everything, you know, it's going to make it even more special. How can you say no to that? But Buddy is such a great salesperson. How can you say no to that? You know, and, you know, on top of that, he's just a good man. And, you know, that's how we judge the players, not just by their talent, but how good of a person they are. And the same goes with business partners. And you know, and Buddy is the creme de la creme when it comes to good people in this business. I've spoken with agents in the past that were not, you know, not as friendly. And again, to reiterate what Buddy said, breath of fresh air, and it's an honor to be here.
Absolutely. And I'm sure Hope can reiterate everything that Sam said about Buddy. You know, I've been a part of the, you know, working with Buddy and the pro level sports agency for just a few months now, you know, bringing on players and interviewing them, coaches and the agents and stuff. But man, you guys have such a family environment there. And I absolutely love being a part of it. Hope, anything to add to what's going on here?
Actually, nothing more, but you know, like they said, you know, Buddy, you know, you're talking about someone who is very much a part of NFL royalty, the dynasty itself, and he's part of. I mean, he's got NFL in his blood, starting with his uncles and his first cousins, and he brings that same energy and that same integrity from his uncle into his business. And the partnership that he got in with Sam Gordon was, not only was it quintessential, it was of a strong movement on both parts, for everyone to sit down at the table and discuss this, and for me to put everything together, for the gentleman to look it over. This is what, Sam says he wants, this is what you want. And when you put it together, the gentleman look at it, and just decide, okay, this is the direction we're going. And, we did it. So it's a very wonderful, like I said, combination of wit and spirit, talent, integrity, trust, honesty. There's energy with both of these gentlemen to bring in something real to the table and genuine. And I think everyone's going to be very not only surprised by this, but extremely happy. They're going to see the benefits of it. The players are going to be excited. They're going to know that they're in safe and good hands with both of these gentlemen, with both companies. So I'm very, very happy, and to see these gentlemen come together and see this happening. So this is going to take this industry to a whole nother level, with sports management to a whole nother level, and that's what they wanted to do, and that's what we're doing together. So I'm excited. I'm glad that Sam is on board and Buddy's on board, and we're all good to go. It's a one big happy family, and it's a wonderful marriage blend going on here, and this is going to keep. We're gonna cause some good trouble. We're gonna start some good trouble and take this to the next level. That's what we're gonna do.
There is a such thing as good trouble. That's right.
There
Yes, it is. Yes.
But now you guys are now partners now, and you're working together. You got your hands full, because the USFL draft, that is the next big thing happening. That's February 26th is when that draft happens. You guys got your hands full with that now. I know. I mean, I'm just meeting you now tonight for the first time, Sam. I don't know how many players you have entering the portal. I know, Buddy has quite a few guys. You guys got your hands full getting those names in that pool, getting them ready for that draft. What's this process like? Because obviously the USFL, I mean, it's a legendary league from the past. This is its first year, basically. What's it like getting these players, ready for this draft, and the process been like so far? Buddy, if you want to go first, or Sam.
Yeah, sure. So, as far as pro level stance on it, we are handling this as if it were to the level of the NFL draft. That's where our executive vice president of player development, Michael Greer, comes in, former NFL Blesto scout. Every client that comes through, Mike does a full evaluation on them to see where they land. So, I don't know what other agents and stuff are doing. Us personally, we do not put every client or every Joe Schmo that walks through the door into the portal. We're keeping, at least on our end, integrity, because we do want to see it succeed. We don't want to see another AAF. We don't want to see another repeat of XFL and leagues like that showed promise, came in and for one reason or another dissipated. So we are treating it as if this is the NFL draft. When we talk to our players, we're having them train as if this was an NFL draft opportunity for them. So we're on our end, we're keeping our fingers crossed that this does indeed pull off. All signs right now is great. They just got done announcing the last four coaches here, so that's promising, and everything going so far looks promising. And I definitely got my fingers crossed, because and I'm sure Sam can reiterate, we do want this to succeed. If this succeeds, then we succeed, because hopefully our clients are going to be involved in that process. So we're all hoping, and not just clients that are with us, but clients that are with other agents as well. We want we want success out of this, because if it succeeds in long term, now we got a true alternative to the National Football League. So that's my my take on it, and how we're handling the the USFL.
So Sam, what is the USFL doing right now that's different, that's going to help them succeed, and not be one of those quick flash in the pan leagues that we've seen pop up and stuff like that?
Well, the United States Football League is run by familiar personnel in the spring league, as well as some AAF. However, it is much more organized. It is much more organized. But what I see about the USFL is what the spring league was, but better. Like we saw the spring league as sort of a rough draft, so to speak, on Fox Sports. And now we're going to see something much more polished. And I can tell by the way they're scouting their players that they don't want to just put, anybody there because they paid just $2,000 to play. They're not. This is a league with professional caliber players, young guys coming out of college that need an alternative. But don't get me wrong, I'm always, and Buddy and Hope would agree with me, I'm always thinking, worst case scenario. I'm always having plan A, plan B, plan C options for my players just in case. Get them signed. With IFL, anywhere like that. Most of my players that have entered the portal have indeed signed IFL contracts. So we do have backup plans, but we feel confident with Fox and NBC involved and with this structure that it could start off really well. The one thing I want to make sure is that the players get paid promptly. That's the one thing that I hope to make sure is better than what happened with, like the past leagues with the AAF and whatnot, and how that league ran out of money. So again, I believe that there's a much bigger financial strength to this league, with Fox and NBC involved, and I'm excited to see how it goes. They're going to be in one city, I believe, this year. So, and again, it's a monumental opportunity for everyone involved.
There's plenty of room in America for more football, but it has to be good football. It can't be, media. We don't want to see Division II type football out there. We want to see good football. So hearing you guys say that they're really trying to make this a legit league with the type of players and what they're doing, that's a positive, for the fans, because that's what the fans want to see. They want to see real good quality football week in and week out, game in and game out.
Absolutely.
Yep. That's true.
So I hope obviously now you're even busier now. You're worried about the USFL draft. You're worried about this partnership. I mean, what going forward now that this partnership has been, dealt with, having the USFL, is there a lot more work involved for you, or is it pretty much no matter the league, what you do is pretty much, the same?
It's going to be more, I think we're going to be more focused on players that have the opportunity to go to the USFL. I mean, think of it this way, before you get to the NFL and all the other leagues that you're playing in, it's like a dress rehearsal to get to play on Sundays. That's what this is. So that means we're going to have to bring in high quality players. That means that we're going to have to really truly evaluate, the play videos that we see, their skill set. If we think there's more training needed, we need to get them to Mike Greer so he can do that. Also, have them go to the national combines, Pro Bowls, anything like that that's going to get them noticed, get the training that they need, get their names out there, because everybody's not going to get invited to the NFL draft. Everybody's not going to get into the NFL that way. That's not how it works. So if you're not on the NFL radar to begin with, then you need to put yourself on that radar by going to sports camps to get there. You need to come to a place like ours, sports level agency. You need to come to us. You need to come to G2 management, who can get you where you need to be. But also, it's not just us doing the work. The players got to do the work too. That means you need to really stay healthy. That means injury free. Stay out of trouble. Focus on what you're trying to do. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your nose to the grindstone. That's what you came to us for, and that's what we're here to do. But we can't do it alone. You also got to be a part of it as well. Sending us quality tapes for us to view. Nothing fuzzy. Nothing that happened 3 years ago. We want something current that happened this year. Maybe the latest year we'll take is 2021. Or if you have some, arena football experience, bring that to the table. Let us see what you've done. Show us something so we know what we can do, and then know where to place you so we can move forward with you.
That can get you. I mean, I'll bring up the two biggest names. Obviously, it's Tyler Heineke and PJ Walker, both quarterbacks
Yep.
in the NFL. They were playing in the smaller leagues. They made their
Yep.
name. They got their shot. And I talk about it, with the Eagles this recently. They had a player on their practice squad for the last 2 years. He had one chance in the last game of the season when the Eagles were resting their starters, and he got signed off the practice squad to a full contract because he took the opportunity he was given. Whatever it was, he worked hard through his years, and when he got his opportunity, he took it. You never know when that opportunity is
exactly.
going.
Absolutely, and there's one player that we're missing. Great movie that came out, American Underdog. Guy got his start in arena football.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen
absolutely.
the movie just yet, but yeah, obviously, yeah, that's the biggest name of them all that did it.
And
yeah.
I'm gonna name drop a few more. Fred Jackson with the Buffalo Bills got his start in the IFL.
Okay,
got his start in arena, and
one.
so did Anthony Armstrong, who ended up playing for the Washington football team when they had their previous name.
You didn't fall into the trap to say that the other name. I do it at least once a week. I accidentally. I either do that or I call them the San Diego Chargers at least once a week. I don't know. I can't change that. I do. I was doing my USFL research. I was doing my USFL research, and something popped up that was interesting. And you guys keep talking about what's best for the players, but also what's best for the league, and all those kind of things. I noticed that the eligibility for a player to be in the USFL is 1 year earlier than the NFL.
Yes.
Is that something that concerns you guys, or is that something that you're looking, because there's a lot of players now with the new transfer portal rules in the NCAA and all that stuff that could potentially turn pro and play in the USFL instead of going back to college for a year? Buddy, I mean, you said you nod your head there. Is that something that you're concerned with, interested in, a little bit of both? How are you thinking in that process? And have you guys had any younger kids that haven't completed 3 years of college yet reach out to you guys yet about that?
Yeah, well, the first part of your question, I'm not really, too overly personally, not too overly concerned about it. Listen, we get guys that come to us that have no collegiate experience. So, not saying players like that are gonna end up wearing an NFL jersey playing on Sundays, but at some point in time, things happen, in college, and you brought up a good point, about the transfer portal. I think, players, in college that may be in limbo, this now opens up, opportunities, for them. So, that aspect, no, I'm not, too overly, concerned. And if you look at what the NBA is doing and what the NBA has done before, I mean, look, you got players like Kobe and LeBron that come right out of high school and went to playing professional ball. So it's been proven that it can be done. But more importantly, for these guys, going into the if they're leaving college early, going into the USFL, I can't stress enough that find a way to go back and finish, and get your degree.
Yes.
You're 1 year away from your career being over, and without that degree, there's not too much to fall back on. And I know people are gonna say, well, I don't got a college degree and I got a good job. True, but it's nice to have something to show as an accomplishment, and getting that degree and all the hard work, and time that you put into it, mirrors the time and hard work you're putting into being a, professional athlete. So if the professional athlete side falls through, then, now you have something to, fall back on. You're not going to have regrets because you're able to, accomplish both. Both may not work out for you, but you're able, to accomplish both. As far as the next part of your question, we have had younger players reach out, to us, and we've had some players that are, leaving college early. That right there is a tricky area for us. We make sure to follow, all NCAA rules, and with what needs done on our side and what needs done on their side, because it comes down to educating these young men that are coming to us. Let them know, look, you sign with an agent, you're not going back to play college football. So, like, there's eligibility, that the eligibility part is going to be, poof, done at that point. So, find out from them what's more important, are you still planning on getting your degree? Does your coach and team know what you're planning to do? So there's a lot that, goes into it. So before, we drool over this 19, 20-year-old player that comes through, when they fill out our athlete representation questionnaire, they specifically ask, college, their college information, and do they have eligibility remaining? And even if they put yes or no to that, we still do research on our end to confirm that, which is very important nowadays, because I'm not paying a hefty fine or getting a bad name for our company just because we took somebody's word that they were legal. So do our due diligence on everybody. We've passed on young kids. We've brought some in after confirming all the information. We constantly have interviews, and I'm not talking about interviews. We sit down on Zoom face to face and talk to these kids. Kids, it becomes educational. So I think agents are going to, that's going to happen more, or should happen more moving forward, especially with these the kids leaving early to obtain their dream in the USFL.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, Sam, we only got about 5 minutes left here. Anything to add to that, what he's talking about there on that?
I will say this. I am not one to go against a kid's education. I feel like that is, that is very important. If you play at a very good school and you have a chance to build up your draft stock, your NFL draft stock, and continue to play, then please, by all means, do that and still go to school. That's, personally, that's just my opinion. I like to, because in case football, as Buddy said, falls through, you make sure that you get the proper schooling that you're able to get staying in college. Now, don't get me wrong, these kids leave their junior year, but it's 1 or 2 more years of schooling that might be very important, so you can go back after your football career and finish your degree after a couple semesters instead of 2 or 3 years. And that's important to me. That's important to me. And I can't stress that. And I can't stress that enough. People might disagree with me. They could say, oh, the kids need to get out on the pro circuit as soon as possible. The competition is still pretty high in college, and these kids can still make money. They can now make money in college. So if you go to a prestigious enough school, then I feel that you could get just as much out of 1 or 2 more years of college out of this league, which we don't know is going to be, like a better term, stable in 3-4 years.
Absolutely. So, here at DSM Media, we have a saying. It's hashtag do something major. That's actually what DSM, stands for. And it sounds like this partnership, Hope, between Pro Level Sports Agency and G2 Sports Management, fits that theme to a T. Hashtag they are doing something major right now, are they not?
Yes, they are, big time. Big time. And just to quickly reiterate, if you're a college player and you're trying to go into the USFL or NFL early and you still have college eligibility, you need to let us know that you have forfeited those years, and we need to have documentation before you come aboard, because like Buddy said, we're not trying to get sanctioned. Nobody wants that. So make sure that you do your due diligence on your end as a student, and we will do ours on our end to make sure we're protecting ourselves as well as you as a player.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, this is Buddy Walters from Pro Level Sports Agency, from the legendary Ryan family. We got Sam Gordon, G2 Sports Management. They are now working together to help get these kids and these young men and their reps. We just got Gabe Martinez, a head coaching job over in Europe there. I didn't write the team name down now. I forget. It's in the Czech Republic. I forget the team name off the top of my head. But, Buddy Walters and Sam Gordon are doing great things representing their clients on a daily and weekly basis. Hope is as busy as possible, making all the work happen, because Buddy and Sam are just the pretty faces, and Hope's doing all the legwork to actually make them successful. Thank you very much, guys and girls, for coming on to DSM Media tonight for this exclusive breaking news. I'm going to send this video to both Buddy and Sam. I'm sure they're going to get up on their websites and stuff like that. But I greatly appreciate your time tonight, guys. Sam, thank you very much. Pleasure meeting you tonight. Hope, pleasure meeting you tonight. And Buddy,
nice meeting you too.
Always a pleasure to talk with you, buddy.
Appreciate you, Phil. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you very much, guys. Everybody have a great night. Stay tuned. In less than 2 minutes, the Broad Street Bulls will be on with their second episode of the season. Jeremy and George will be right back, so don't miss a second. Stay tapped into DSM Media. Everybody have a great Friday night. Be safe, be well.